Hi everyone, thank you for coming to my Vulnerably Badass YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about learning a new language with your child or children or friend or husband or wife or mom or father or whoever. My son and I started Duolingo 11 days ago, 12 days ago. One of the reasons was because when we took a family trip to Panama before Christmas, I was able to use a little bit of Spanish that I knew. I'm really a beginner or beginner level Spanish speaker, but when I was in San Diego, I took Spanish 101, and San Diego was full of Spanish speakers, so I was fortunate enough to kind of learn a little bit and use a little bit, and I enjoyed learning a new language in college. And every now and then, I try to use the words I knew when I meet Spanish speakers or Spanish related books or any kind of things that I see. I try to understand, oh, this word is something that I'm familiar or I don't know. So although I didn't take any lessons, I tried to familiarize myself with Spanish more. So when I went to Panama, my vocabulary is very, very limited, but I really enjoyed listening to what other people are saying or reading the signs, figuring out what it said. So I wanted to keep doing it. I didn't want to just end when the vacation ended. So I was thinking, what's the best way? I've been thinking about taking Spanish lessons or something, but I wanted something light, not too heavy. So I've heard of Duolingo, so I downloaded the app just to test how it goes. And then I set the goal for just 5 minutes a day. And it was great because, at the beginning, they kind of test your level. So it starts at whatever level you are. And it was fun because it was like a game, because you don't even have to spell anything. Well, some of the questions you have to, but it's more like a game. And some of it is you listen to a word and choose from two choices, which sound. You listen to two different sounds and it's the same as the one you heard. That's the listening, probably the sound, if you hear the sound or not. And it gives you like English sentence, and you have to, out of these word chunks that you have, you just pick these orders, the words in the right order. So you don't really have to know the grammar, but you will learn because some of the questions you have to choose the right conjugation of the verb. But it's so well designed that you can just have fun and you don't feel too bad if you make a mistake, because those questions that you made mistakes will come back at the end of that session and you will be able to do it again and again. So you will feel that you're learning. So I made an account for my son too, since he is learning Japanese as his heritage language. I thought it would be a great way to kind of motivate him or to have another opportunity to expose himself to Japanese, because right now the only place he exposes himself to Japanese is this Japanese long distance learning material that he's working with me. So that's the only place he sees the words or studies. So I thought if there's another input, then that would be great for him to hear more words or encounter new sentences. So he started doing that, and he just loves the fact that he gets extra screen time. But of course I set it to a short session, so it's just 5 minutes, but he enjoys doing it. Plus, because he already learns the hardest part, learning hiragana and katakana, so it's easy for him. But for the sake of getting more gems, so it is, Duolingo is really like game, and so if you do certain things like you get gems or points or something like that, I'm not really understanding, but my son already gets what you're supposed to do or what these gems means or points means. So he is like, working really hard to collect them. So whatever the motivation is, I'm really happy to see him, wanting to do this game so he can learn Japanese. But although he can skip his level because he knows more words, he's starting from hiragana and katakana letters because he wants gems. But still, that's okay because he's learning different words. So far, my son and I did 11 streaks, and that's another motivating factor. It tells you every time you finish the lesson, like, oh, you finished 3 streaks or 4 streaks, if you open the app and did it, how many days in a row you did it. So right now I finished 11 streaks, and it was so funny. Was it last Friday or Sunday? I don't remember, or just Wednesday. I forgot, but because I was working until late at night, my son forgot to do Duolingo and he just went to sleep. And the next day when he woke up and realized the fact he forgot to do it, he was like, oh no, I lost my streak. And he was so depressed. So I was like, it's okay, it's just a game. You can just restart again and don't worry. But he was so depressed. But what was funny was after logging in on the same day, he found out because he had enough gems or enough money or enough points, whatever, he didn't lose the streak. So he was able to continue from 10th streak. So he was like, Mom, I can continue because I have 5 gems or whatever. So I'm like, wow, that's a really great game, like it motivates you even more, it motivates you to keep the streak. But of course, sometimes you could forget, but that game doesn't let you just lose everything you did. But as long as you have enough points or whatever, you can keep the streak and keep going. And so my son is motivated again and doing it. So I'm so happy he's still motivated and he's still going. And for those of you who wants to start, I strongly recommend, try whatever language you always wanted to learn. It's like just 5 minutes. So the secret of continuing Duolingo, at least for me, is I think there is 3 things that you want to keep in mind. Number 1, keep it short, because if it's long and too much, probably you won't do it. So in my case, I keep it just 5 minutes, 5 minutes a day Spanish. And that's working fine because it's just 5 minutes. No matter how busy I am, I can find 5 minutes. And the next thing is keep it every day and preferably same time. So for me and my son, we do it every day, and the time we do it is sometime after dinner and before shower. So we know when to do it, so it's easier for us. If you don't decide the time, probably it's really difficult to really stick to it, and maybe you have to decide every time what time you're gonna do. But now we kind of know the time slot, so it's easier for us. Oh, it's Duolingo time and it's just 5 minutes. And the third important thing that's helping us is accountability partner, So in my case, my son. For my son's case, me. And I'm learning Spanish. He's learning Japanese. We're totally learning different languages, but the fact that we're accessing Duolingo and doing something, we sit side by side and we do it together. So that accountability, having someone to do it together helps you to keep going. So if you want to learn a language, I strongly recommend you. And if you have a child, if you're trying to raise them multilingual or, just exposed to a new language, it's a great way because they love games usually, right? Yeah, for me, it's really fun. Just the secret is just 5 minutes. You stop when you feel like, oh, it's fun, right? If it becomes, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes, and you started feeling like it's burden, maybe it's really difficult to continue, but, oh, I was just having fun and it's over already, then you look forward to the next one. So try Duolingo with someone. And 3 key points, right? Short every day at the same time and do it with somebody. Okay, thank you for coming to my Vulnerably Badass YouTube channel. See you next time.